People often refer to John Cage and that, I guess, silent piece of his 433 as an example of space between the notes. Friends, I think people are struggling a little bit too much to make sense out of a position that has no sense. The space between the notes. People often use Debussy because I posted a Debussy reference where he talked about space between the notes. Miles Davis, I think, talked about space between the notes. Ron Carter talked about space between the notes. I believe that on the Berkeley Bass Department website, there was a Ron Carter video with the chairman and Ron talking about space between the notes. The concept, if I may, is a flawed concept. It doesn't exist because it can't be practiced. It can't even be identified as something to practice. People have alluded and outright stated that what it really refers to is rests. But rests are a unique point of pause. It is not space between the notes in the manner that Debussy or Miles discussed it. Next, and this is important, people tend to go to the end of a person's career or later in the career when the only points left for people to conclude are artistic ones. People, I think it's safe to say, they never go to the beginning, where John Cage was taught music, where Miles, where Debussy, where all of the refers of space between the notes were never taught space between the notes. They were taught notes. They were taught harmony, and they practiced and learned it. What happens is that musicians evolve. And when they evolve, they will evolve in certain areas that are unpredictable and cannot be looked at as points of references for people that are trying to learn how to play. Space between the notes is a myth. It's not a usable concept. A better way to put it is phrasing. And phrasing includes notes and includes the pauses that may occur. Finally, 99% of bass players seem to agree that groove is first. And groove essentially removes the principle of space between the notes because people are trying to get into a feel element of bass playing. The only possible interpretation of this might be staccato or legato or some